Well, folks, we've made it. The second to last episode of Overtime, and Kent State football makes it to Detroit. We have the highlights right here, right now. Dustin Crum leading the charge for this team, as it was a memorable senior day for the Golden Flashes. Early on in this game, Dustin Crum would find his man Dante Cephas for a 17-yard touchdown early in the first quarter to put it 7-3 Kent State, but Brett Gabbert would respond. The brother of Blaine Gabbert finds Jack Sorensen for a 19-yard touchdown, 13-7 Red Hawks at that point in time early in the game. But Xavier Williams, he had a day, and I mean a day amongst days. A 79-yard touchdown for the Golden Flashes running back puts this game at 24-16 Golden Flashes. And when I say big day, he had an amazing day. He had a 50-yard touchdown right here. He had 129 yards off 2 touchdown runs combined. 31-23 Kent State at this moment in time, but Brett Gabbert and the Red Hawks would respond. He steps up in the pocket and he finds Kenny Tracy for a 49-yard touchdown down the sideline. 34-31 Golden Flashes, so the Red Hawks cut that lead to 3. But then Crum finds Keyshawn Abrams, and this is 70 yards to the house. Golden Flashes football was at an all-time high, scoring at a huge offensive clip all day long on Saturday. But the Red Hawks would get this to a tied game and send it to overtime with a 50-yard field goal by Graham Nicholson, 41-41. We go to overtime. Dustin Crum has a 1-yard QB keeper for a touchdown, makes it 48-41. The Red Hawks would score on one play, but Montre Miller says no to the 2-point conversion. The Flashes are going to Detroit, 48-47. This is it, folks. This is for all the marbles. Kent State and Northern Illinois, a rematch of 9 years ago when the last time Kent State was in the MAC championship game. Northern Illinois is trying to avenge their loss from earlier in the season back on November 3rd by a final score of 52-47 at Dick Stadium, where the Flashes prevailed. For Kent State, their defense has played better as of late, so a key for them this game would be to continue the defensive turnovers and get the takeaways. Takeaways will turn into great offense. We've seen that all year long. And for Kent State, they have the player of the year, Dustin Crum. Get him going and get him working with his receivers and have him on the ground as much as possible. If that offense can carry this team like they did on November 3rd, they will have a chance to do what they did earlier in the year and beat Northern Illinois. And it would be the first time since 1972 where the Kent State Golden Flashes would win the MAC championship game. Kickoff is at 12 p.m. on ESPN Saturday.
Now, of course, we've had all this great coverage all year for Kent State Golden Flashes football heading to the MAC championship, but you can't forget about the OHSAA State Championship round coming up this weekend. Let's go to our analyst, Liv Sharp, for an inside look.
Hi, Portage County. I'm Liv Sharp, your high school football expert, and for the last 12 weeks, I've been traveling throughout the state of Ohio covering high school football, all leading up to this week, the state championships, and I have some insight into the matchups.
Liv, let's take a look at the only undefeated matchup up in this slate right now. That is Chardon versus Hamilton-Badin. What's this matchup going to look like?
Badin's playoff journey has been paved with ridiculous wins, several shutouts, and out of 5 games, the defense only allowed 19 points. So it'll be interesting to see how they match up against the high-scoring Chardon offense. If Badin's defense can keep the Hilltoppers from scoring like they consistently have, then they can easily win by scoring against Chardon's Achilles heel, their defense.
And looking at arguably the best game, St. Edward and Springfield, both coming off difficult games, how will this battle of the Titans play out?
Both teams are coming in with the same record of 14-1 after being served a loss during the regular season. Springfield to Miamisburg and St. Ed's to Archbishop Moeller, who beat Springfield in playoffs 2 weeks ago. If we want to score this game according to the transitive property, then Springfield has this. Sadly, it's not as easy as that, and Springfield is in for a fight against St. Ed's QB Christian Ramos and his insane throwing ability. In the St. Ed's versus Medina game, he threw for 172 yards, and I'm sure he'll be pulling out all the stops to win this week.
With football coming to a close for high school and Kent State, the hardwood is back in action. Let's take a look at Kent State basketball and how both the men's and women's team have done to start their seasons. The Kent State women's basketball team takes on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies on Friday, December 3rd at 7 p.m. on ESPN+. In their last 3 games, Kent State has been 2-1. They beat number 19 UCLA on November 26th by a final score of 75-69. They lost to UMass November 27th, 64-72, and they most recently just beat Penn State 81-74. A win would improve this team to 6-1 on the season for the Kent State ladies team.
The Kent State men's basketball team picked things back up at home with a 107-41 point win over the Point Park Pioneers. Leading the team in Coach Senderoff's 200th win with the Flashes was the guard duo of Gio Santiago and Jalen Sullinger. Santiago knocked down 6 straight three-pointers, the second longest in-game streak by a Golden Flash, and Sullinger had a boom in minutes with Malik Jacobs out, and he took advantage with 24 points and 5 steals. The Golden Flashes continue their pre-conference schedule next Monday in a home showdown with the Towson Tigers. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that I drew the short straw yet again this week, and I got to let you know that it's a wrap on this week's episode of Overtime. But hey, I got some good news as well. Come back next week for even more action-packed Kent State athletics coverage, and hopefully we'll be covering a MAC championship win. From Austin Arnold, I'm Ben McMillen. See you later.